Kublai Khan was not just another ruler from the Mongol bloodline. He was the man who took the terrifying legacy of Genghis Khan and turned it into something bigger, richer, and far more complicated. Genghis Khan had built an empire through speed, fear, and conquest. Kublai Khan inherited that world, but he faced a different challenge. How do you rule millions of people who do not speak your language, follow your customs, or see you as one of them? Born on September 23, 1215, in the region of present-day Mongolia, Kublai came from the most powerful family in the Mongol world. His grandfather was Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire. His father, Tolui, was also an important Mongol leader and the youngest son of Genghis. From the beginning, Kublai was surrounded by power, war, ambition, and expectation. He was not raised to live quietly. He was raised to lead. But Kublai was different from many Mongol princes. He was not only trained to ride, fight, and command warriors. He was also educated in politics, administration, strategy, and culture. By the age of 12, he was already known as a skilled horseman and fighter. As he grew older, his reputation became stronger, not only because he had courage, but because he had intelligence. He understood that swords could win battles, but systems were needed to hold an empire together. Kublai was only 17 when his father died. That loss pushed him into responsibility at a young age. Instead of simply enjoying royal privilege, he was sent across the Mongol Empire on diplomatic and military missions. These journeys gave him valuable experience. He saw different lands, different people, different traditions, and different problems. That exposure helped shape him into a ruler who was more flexible than many of his relatives. In 1251, his brother Mongke became the great Khan of the Mongol Empire. Kublai was then placed in charge of Chinese territories in the eastern part of the empire. This was a turning point in his life. China was not like the Mongolian steppe. It had huge cities, old traditions, powerful scholars, advanced farming, complex government systems, and a deep cultural identity. A simple warrior might have tried to crush everything. Kublai did something smarter. He studied it. He surrounded himself with Chinese advisors and listened to their ideas. He became interested in Chinese culture, architecture, government, and even practices like feng shui. He realized that if he wanted to rule China properly, he could not act only like a foreign conqueror. He had to become something new, a Mongol Khan with the mind of a Chinese emperor. Then came the crisis that changed everything. In 1259, Mongke Khan died during a campaign against the Song Dynasty in southern China. His death created a dangerous struggle for power. Two brothers wanted the throne, Kublai and Arik Boke. Arik Boke represented the traditional Mongol world. He was supported by those who wanted to protect the old steppe lifestyle and nomadic customs. Kublai, however, was seen as too influenced by Chinese ways. To some Mongols, that made him look less traditional and even less trustworthy. But Kublai had powerful support from Chinese officials and groups who believed he could bring stability. In 1260, he declared himself Great Khan. Arik Boke also claimed the title. The result was a bloody civil war between brothers. For 4 years, the Mongol world was divided. Kublai's forces eventually gained the advantage, especially after defeating his brother's supporters near Karakoram, the old Mongol capital. By 1264, Arik Boke surrendered, and Kublai became the undisputed Great Khan. Still, the victory was not perfect. The Mongol Empire was already beginning to split into separate khanates. Kublai had the grand title, but real control over the entire Mongol world was weakening. So he focused on the prize that mattered most to him: China. Kublai moved the center of his rule toward China and made Dadu, modern-day Beijing, a major capital. In 1271, he officially founded the Yuan Dynasty. This was a huge moment in world history. A ruler from the Mongolian steppe had become Emperor of China, one of the oldest and most advanced civilizations on Earth. But Kublai did not just sit on a throne and enjoy the luxury of Chinese palaces. He worked to build a government that mixed Mongol power with Chinese administration. Under his rule, China experienced stability, trade growth, infrastructure development, and cultural exchange. He supported science, art, and religion. Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, Taoists, and others were allowed to live and practice within his empire. His court became one of the most diverse political centers of the medieval world. He also promoted paper money, improved transport routes, and expanded canals and river systems to move grain across China. These details may not sound as dramatic as battles, but they were the real machinery of empire. Armies could conquer land, but food, money, roads, and officials kept that land alive. Kublai understood this better than many conquerors. Yet one major enemy still stood in his way: the Song Dynasty in southern China. Defeating the Song was not easy. Southern China was full of rivers, strong cities, difficult terrain, and fortifications. Mongol cavalry, which had terrified so many enemies across Asia and Europe, was not enough here. So Kublai adapted. His armies used siege weapons, engineers, catapults, trebuchets, and naval power. If horses could not win the war, he would use ships. If speed was not enough, he would use strategy. After years of costly fighting, the Mongols finally crushed the last Song resistance at the Battle of Yamen in 1279. With that victory, Kublai Khan became the first Mongol ruler to control all of China. It was one of the greatest conquests in history. His empire also opened the door between East and West. Because the Mongols controlled major trade routes across Central Asia, merchants and travelers could move more freely than before. The Silk Road became more active, carrying goods, ideas, technologies, and stories between China, the Middle East, Europe, and beyond. The most famous foreign visitor to Kublai's court was Marco Polo, the Venetian merchant and traveler. He spent many years in Asia and later wrote about the wealth and wonder of Kublai's empire. His stories introduced many Europeans to the idea of a rich, powerful, and highly organized China. To people in Europe, Kublai's world sounded almost unreal. Massive cities, paper money, busy markets, grand palaces, and an emperor with unimaginable authority. But Kublai was not satisfied with China alone. The old Mongol hunger for conquest never fully left him. He launched campaigns into Southeast Asia and gained influence over places such as Burma and Vietnam. These wars expanded his reach, but they were expensive and often brought little real profit. His most famous failure came in Japan. Kublai demanded submission, but Japan refused. In 1274, he sent a fleet toward Kyushu. The Mongol forces fought hard, but a powerful typhoon smashed their ships and forced them to retreat. The Japanese later called this storm kamikaze, meaning divine wind. Kublai tried again in 1281 with an even larger invasion force. Once again, Japanese resistance was strong. Once again, a massive storm destroyed the Mongol fleet. After that, Kublai gave up on conquering Japan. In his later years, Kublai faced deep personal pain. The death of his beloved wife Chabi and his chosen heir Zhenjin affected him badly. He became known for excessive eating and drinking, and his health declined. The emperor who had ruled over one of the richest realms on earth could not escape grief, age, or weakness. Kublai Khan died in 1294 at the age of 79. His body was taken to a secret burial place, likely somewhere in Mongolia, following Mongol tradition. His tomb has never been found. His grandson Temur Khan succeeded him, but after Kublai's death, the Mongol world continued to weaken. Still, Kublai Khan's legacy remained enormous. He was a warrior, emperor, reformer, and bridge between cultures. He conquered China, founded the Yuan Dynasty, expanded global trade, welcomed foreign travelers, and changed the connection between East and West. Kublai Khan proved that power is not only about winning battles. The greater challenge is ruling what you have conquered. For a time, he did exactly that, and his empire became one of the most powerful forces the world had ever seen. Kublai Khan conquered China, built the Yuan Dynasty, and proved even the greatest empires have limits. For more powerful history, like and subscribe.